Alright guys, I'm not even gonna lie. This video is going to get really deep, really emotional, and probably super depressing. Okay, I'm going to be telling you guys the story of the last 8 months of my life and why I haven't been uploading much to YouTube. Just gotta mute everyone real fast. So, if you guys didn't see my video back in June-ish, July-ish, uh, so my dad got into a car accident on June 28th of 2016, and so like it was really crazy. I was just casually playing Black Ops 3, and I was you know I was just playing Black Ops 3, playing zombies with my friend Peyton, and when my mom comes from behind me, we're doing really good. My mom comes from behind me and she says, "Yo, Dad just got into a car accident. We gotta go." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Dad just got into a car accident. We gotta go to the hospital." And I was like, "You know what? All right." I didn't think it would be anything, really bad, until we were in the car, and she was just like, he was airlifted to Harborview, which is it's in Seattle. I live about 2.5 hours from Seattle-ish. So they airlifted him there from the small old community hospital from where I'm from, and which is McCleary, Washington. And so once my mom told me, he was airlifted to one of the big hospitals for, huge trauma therapy and stuff, I was like, well, damn, it must be bad. And so I'm gonna tell you guys what happened in the car accident. He was just casually just driving down the road, and coming home, and a car hit a deer. Like, he didn't even hit the deer. A car hit a deer, and the deer went airborne and went into the driver's side of his windshield, and it just busted right through the windshield. Like, they were going opposite directions on the road, so it was pretty bad, because the deer went flying one way, and then, like, he was still driving, and he had to have been conscious for the fact that he slowly pulled over to the side of the road and came to a stop. And so basically, we get to the hospital. Everybody is freaking out. There's tons of people. My cousins are there. Everybody is there. And of course, we were not actually the first people there. My mom called my dad's work, and some of his coworkers were the first ones there. His boss was there, and his one of his good friends was there from work, and so we get there. They had not gone to go see my dad, just out of respect. My mom said, you guys can go back and see, my dad, Eric, if you guys want to. And they were like, no, we're not going to go see him until you see him. And so they didn't get to see him. I was the last person to actually see my dad that day, just because the fact that I'm only 15. I'm turning 16 soon, but I'm only 15, and that you have to be 18 to, like, go and see people in the hospital rooms, because, like, in the trauma place, like, it can get really, really bad. If you guys were wondering, he was in ITU, intensive care unit. Like, it was really, really bad. And so everyone was going in there. They were seeing him. They were crying. I was like, guys, he's gonna be okay. My dad's a fighter. He doesn't. This is not gonna happen. He's not gonna die, guys. And so I was staying completely calm while everyone was like flipping out. Right. Everyone just they just couldn't hold themselves together. And I was the only one there. I was like calming everybody down, like, guys, it's gonna be okay. And then I went back around 9:30ish at night. I went back into the room, and I see my dad, and I went back with my dad's best friend Eric. His name was also Eric. They grew up together, and they were best friends since like sophomore high school. And so yeah, so I went back there. Sorry, I went back there to go see him with my uncle, and so it wasn't good. It looked like he had been attacked by a big mountain lion, like straight up on his face. Like it was really, really bad. It looked like a bear had mauled him in his face. And so all this happened. I went back there. I was back there. I was holding my dad's hand. You know, I'm like, you know, he's gonna make it through. Even then, I wasn't freaking out. And so you know, I was just sitting there. I was just waiting because I knew that he wasn't. For some reason, I knew that he wasn't going to die. Or I didn't know that he wasn't going to die. I just had a feeling, you know, he's not gonna die. You know, y'all need to stop freaking out. Until I saw the MRIs on his head. He had major, major brain damage on the frontal lobe and the right side of his brain. I don't know what all of the parts of the brain are called. I wasn't really paying attention in health class, but the front, the right side, and the back of his brain basically had been crushed. And then that's when I was like, well, what's the chances of my father living? And the nurse said, to be completely honest with you, your father has a 50% chance of living and a 50% chance of, you know, dying. And so I kept my cool for a little bit, and then I just started freaking out because, you know, I've never been without my dad for more than 2 months. He would go on business trips. Like he had to go to Alaska one time, and he had to go up to New York and DC and all that. And so I hadn't been away from him for 2 months, and then like longer than 2 months. And so I started freaking out, thinking I'm never gonna see him again. And if you guys were wondering, my dad was in a coma. At first, it was a medical-induced coma because they wanted to make sure that he was going to be okay if he were to like wake up in like 2 seconds. They wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to be in any pain. So they put him in a medical-induced coma. And after that, like they started taking him off the meds, and he was still in a coma. But he was in the hospital for 10 days. And mind the fact that I was the only one told that he only has a 50% chance of living. You know, 50% chance of living, that's what I mean. Like, it could go either way. I was the only one that was told that. No one else in my family had been told that. No coworkers, nothing. No one was told this. You know, I'm trying to keep my head up high, but you know, it was really hard for me after hearing the news that I had just heard. And so, you know, I actually sat there and I just cried. I bawled my head off. I'm not even gonna lie. I tried to hold my cool. I couldn't. And 10 days later, after he was hospitalized, July 10th, or yeah, no, July 8th, he they had to pull the plug because he was on life support, and he died that morning at 2 a.m. And you know, it really didn't hit me until a month after he was dead that, you know, he was actually gone and I was never gonna see him again. And then I got really depressed. I got really suicidal. I mean, like, I couldn't handle him being gone, you know? Like it was just nothing that like had ever happened to me before. I mean, I had lost people before, but they weren't like super super close to me like my dad was. Like I didn't see them every single day of my life. So
New orders came in this morning.
so it was really hard for me. I became suicidal. I got hospitalized in like psychiatric hospitals for suicide attempts. I have had 34 suicide attempts, but I have not, been suicidal for the last 2 months. That's good. I haven't tried anything in the last 2.5, 3 months ish. So that's good. And,
Coordinates
so,
confirmed.
yeah, I just thought that I'd share this story with you guys because the last time I actually talked about this, I think, yeah, the last time anybody heard about my dad getting into an accident was when my mom said, "Yo, dad got into an accident. We gotta go." And if you guys actually go look back at that video, you'll see that I wasn't really freaking out. My mom was freaking out. I wasn't freaking out. I was just like, "Okay, Peyton, I gotta go." My dad just got into a car accident. He was like, "Just go. It doesn't matter. You can end the game." And yeah, it's been a hard 7 months, 8 months, however long it's been. It's been really hard for me.
Approaching LZ. Check
I've
down
never
coordinates. Report to
respected
STF.
anything in my life more than I do now. I'm not saying my dad dying in my life is a good thing, because honestly, it's a really shitty thing. Like, I'm not trying to apply that it's a good thing at all, because it's not. I mean, some people say, oh, it'll turn into a stronger person, but like, I honestly still don't get it. Like, I could be a stronger person still with my dad around. Like, I don't really understand this. I I used to go to church every single Sunday, and I stopped going for a little bit. And because my pastor kept saying, everything happens for a reason. God has a plan. And I'm thinking, what the hell kind of a plan is this? But yeah, I thought that I would just share my story with you guys. And I hope you guys liked it. Or not liked it, but I hope this was a good video. I don't know how to word this. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.